Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I just have a quick tip on what to say to yourself to overcome fear. So I'm just going to tell you the phrase and then we'll explain why in detail. But when you're starting to have fear, the best thing to say to yourself is, I can handle it. That's it. The reason why that's the best phrase for you to say is because it already, by saying it, puts you in a good mindset for dealing with the fear, because you already understand by saying it, that you can handle it. Because really, fear on like a deeper level is just your mind telling you you can't handle it. So I'll give you some examples, right? So when you fear asking out a girl, right, your real fear lies from the fact that you don't think you could handle it if she were to make fun of you or just flat out reject you, right? Whereas guys that are okay with that, they have been rejected hundreds of times and they know that they can deal with it, so it doesn't bother them. Same thing for like a job interview, right? The person who's been on a bunch of job interviews, they don't fear not getting the job or getting the job. Whereas maybe someone who has that fear of anxiety, you're really fearful that you won't be able to handle it if they don't like you and you don't get the job. And this works with like any pressurized situation, even sports, right? A lot of players, professional athletes, college, high school athletes, right? They get fear from like crunch time moments, right? Where it's like clutch and you need to perform. Well, really the fear kind of stems from what everyone's going to say if they don't come through, right? So those thoughts kind of creep in their mind during those moments, right? Because the fear is really they could not handle it if they shrank on such a large stage. Now, this actual thought is really conditioned in us through really our parents and friends and family members that we grew up with. When we grow up, when we hear from our parents, be careful, don't do that, stop. What that really translates is to, they can't handle it, right? They can't handle it if you got hurt. They can't handle it if something happened to you. And then for them, they were conditioned by their parents to feel that way based on what their parents said to them, right? So it's like a cycle that just doesn't end, right? They learn it, they teach it to you, you teach it to your eventual kids, your kids will teach it to their kids. Really we live in a society that kind of is predicated on avoiding risk and being uncomfortable, right? If something makes you feel uncomfortable, a lot of people say don't do it if it makes you feel uncomfortable, right? If something is too risky, a lot of people tell you not to do it. It's too risky. Go for the safe option, right? But a lot of people don't realize that that's how you grow, right? You have to put yourself out there. Put yourself in risky situations, right? Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. And through that is where the learning happens. And when you learn to deal with those situations and you start to understand that you can handle those situations, you start to perform better in those exact same situations, right? And then we hear this all the time in a bunch of different areas, right? Public speaking is something that's hard for people to do, but the more time you spend public speaking, the better at it you get. Some people are embarrassed to sing in front of others or dance in front of others, but the more you do it, the less you care. Let's just use singing as an example. Let's say you're at a karaoke place and you get up and you sing a song. Well, you have fear before you start, right? As you're singing, you're probably really fearful of people judging you and looking at you and laughing at you. But once you sit down, a lot of times what happens is you sit down, your brain kind of assesses the situation, right? Now, based on maybe your close friends' reactions, right, you may or may not want to go back up there and sing again. But what you'll say to yourself is everything was okay, I got through it, right? It was a little uncomfortable, but it was also exciting. They didn't really make fun of me as much as I thought they would, right? And when your brain starts having those kind of thoughts, you start to realize, hey, I can handle this. I can get up and sing another song, and if people laugh at me, so what? I actually had fun doing it. So the next time you're in a situation where you're starting to get some fear, just do me a favor. Just start repeating the phrase, I can handle it, right? And obviously the first time you do it, you probably won't believe yourself, so you're going to have to say it often. I know I did myself. But once you start to believe it, like, hey, yeah, I can handle this. I've handled multiple other different things that I was fearful of at first, and you handled those. So once you realize that you can handle it, right, you put yourself in a much better mindset to actually do the thing that scares you. So again, guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's a little shorter video, so hopefully you stayed for the whole thing. Thank you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.